Hello and welcome to the show with me, Jillian Godsil. Today my guest is Matej Zrimšek, who is the co-founder and CTO of Akshun. Matej, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you.
So tell me a bit about, you're the CTO, you're very techie, your other co-founders say you're the hottest CTO in the business. So tell me a bit about I think you did computer science in college and you have a master's in that. So tell me all about your techie background.
Yeah, I mean, I have a bachelor in computer science, but then I went into master's, which was like a double master's in computer science and mathematics, because I also like algorithms and cryptography, which plays well when I need to work in the blockchain space. But my professional career started actually in a bit different area, which was related to laboratories, life science specifically. So there we had to do a lot of things related to, like programming pipetting robots, programming software that need to be ICO compliant for different laboratories, etc., etc. Then I kind of moved into, finally, I think it was 2017, I joined a startup, which was basically doing an arbitrage trading between different cryptocurrency exchanges. There I was technically leading the development of the whole platform, which had 3 different parts. One was for arbitrage trading, one was for AI prediction trading, and the other one was for everything else, like buying cryptocurrency indexes or baskets, etc., etc. And then I joined the Bitstamp cryptocurrency exchange, which is the longest still standing cryptocurrency exchange, and probably one of the most regulated, if not the most regulated ones. And there I was technically leading the banking part from the technical side, and we had to work with different parts of our organization, like from payments to accounting to treasury, even support, of course, but that's obvious. Yeah, and then I kind of said to myself that I want to go maybe in a more founder role, and that's where I met Ben and Rich, and they were already kind of talking about starting this project called Akshun. And I liked it because, first of all, of course, it was in the blockchain space. I had gained a lot of knowledge already from before, and I thought it was a perfect stepping stone for my career, and that's where we are now.
So tell me, you were saying that you have worked with many startups. And now being a co-founder is important. So is like being an entrepreneur, what drives you now at this stage?
Well, I think it drives me the same thing as before. The only thing is that, of course, all the effort and most of the results and rewards can actually stay with me, right? Because if you work for some other company, you can do as much as you want, but at the end of the month, you're gonna get the same paycheck, And I was always dedicated, no matter what I was doing, I was treating it as if it was mine. So it was really, I would say, very painful for me to do that for somebody else. So it was just a matter of time when I would actually start something that's my own,
Which makes sense. And then tell me, when you first went down the rabbit hole and you did cryptography when you were in college, was it the tech that interested you, or trading, or both?
Well, actually, when I joined the first cryptocurrency startup in 2017, it was basically a friend calling me and said, "Hey, I'm the first developer here. They want to join us. We need some extra help here." So that was actually how it happened. Before, I didn't really dwell too much into the cryptocurrency and blockchain at all, but then it really sucked me in, and I really was listening to the news every day, trying to educate myself, not just from the technical perspective, but also from the business perspective. And then I became a big investor, and I learned about investing and everything. So it totally shifted my let's say business perspective, where I'm trying to be and where I'm going, and also my investing knowledge went really high.
So, and what year was that? That was in 2017. Is that what you said?
2017, yeah. It was actually the around the ICO craze, if you know the background. So
yes,
at that time, basically, if you had a simple idea and made a simple website, you could already get few millions. and if you had a good team and everything like we had, then you could easily make it happen. Then the only problem was that a lot of those companies were not really legit. There were a lot of scams, there were a lot of money grabs, and that's why I guess the cryptocurrency is also full of negative views from other people that are not really consistently into it and don't really know the tech and don't distinguish between what the technology is and what it brings, and between all the founder. So it's two different separate things, but news and people that are not really in this space, they treat both of those aspects the same, and that's the biggest problem.
Someone once said to me, and it's quite a good depiction, apart from the fact that millions were raised in the back of a beer mat for sure, but they said the startups fail at an astonishingly high rate. I think the only difference from maybe ordinary fintech startups was the amount of money that they were raising. And it would be nice if I had been part of one of those startups. I wouldn't be so harsh. But anyway, so you got into the space.
That's one of the things. But the other thing is, of course, the anonymity and the lack of regulations. So you could simply say, hey, here's my Ethereum wallet, deposit this and this amount of Ethereum, and then you just vanish, and you don't need to even show to no one which wallet belongs to who. So it's much easier, or at least it was much easier to do that. Of course, now regulations are coming. It's much tougher to do this, and that's why there are new ways of scamming people and trying to perceive people to put their money somewhere where they shouldn't actually.
It's interesting because you were saying when talking about Bitstamp, you were working in a very heavily regulated environment. So how important are regulations to the sector, do you think?
To the cryptocurrency sector? Well, Bitstamp was a financial institution, so they had to obey a lot of financial/banking regulations. With cryptocurrency, it's like that. People that are really into the cryptocurrency, they mostly don't want, or they didn't want regulations because it gives them freedom. They don't want the same regulation that apply for banking to the cryptocurrency, because that would hinder, first of all, the growth of the technology, but also hinder, the alternative to the banking system, and this is very, very visible with things like stable coins coming from the European Union, and USA is also planning on having it, or is already developing it, but that's not the point. You can see that the governments are really slow in catching up with the technology. They think, okay, people just want USD dollar, which is a cryptocurrency, which is basically a stable coin, but that's not the whole point. That just worsens the things, because then all the transactions are public. So if anyone can connect your wallet, which is equivalent of a bank account in a bank, then they could totally see what else you bought for the whole history, because blockchain is essentially like a store of all these receipts, and that's the major issue here.
Okay, so obviously there's a push-pull between the financial freedoms and the need for regulation. But when you approached Akshun, what was the genesis of the day? You met your co-founders, Ben and Richard. What did you together sort of thrash out this idea, or how did Akshun come about?
No, actually, they already had this idea. They kind of started off creating it, but they didn't have somebody that would be technically strong to lead the technical perspective of it. And Akshun as a company is a technology first company, so of course this was a major thing that was needed. And at the beginning, I was like, okay, a bit lukewarm. I was like, okay, let's see how it goes. They already had some demo of the app and stuff, but later on I saw that I overestimated even my pessimistic estimation of how much was really developed, and this is now actually also hindering us in launching the app as soon as possible. But the good thing is, we're in a good path. We are a strong team. We have very good advisors from the likes of ex-Binance, Sweat Coin Economy, executives, so we're in a good path. Of course, we are launching in probably the toughest bear market for the NFT space, but we're positive about it.
Okay. Before we get on to describe more what Akshun's actually going to do, it relies on NFTs. When you first came across NFTs, were you impressed with them? And what do you think they will grow to, their utility? It's not just more JPEGs, it's going to be utility.
Yeah, I mean, let's say the first commercially successful use case was, of course, the JPEG mania that came out. I wasn't that impressed. I was more impressed with the amount of money that people were apparently giving away to buy them. But of course, you need to understand the whole story. Right? There can also be a lot of wash trading behind that, because if you can prove that you had a loss of this and this amount by selling some NFT, you could totally fake it with different wallets, because wallets are semi-anonymous, so there's a lot of this going on in the background, and trying to make fake volume just to try to see, to show to the people that your project is actually more active and more popular than it is. So we of course need to take that into consideration. But yeah, because I know the background, how the whole system works, specifically from the cryptography point of view, I see a future, not in near future, but now. And there are a lot of use cases where this technology is applied in the right manner. For example, you can buy shares or parts of a share when you invest into let's say some house or something. And because everything is so transparent that nobody can really change the contract, and the contract is very simple, can be written very simple, so everybody knows the rules. Nobody can really take it from you because it's on the blockchain, except if the blockchain is hacked. But if you use the biggest blockchain like Ethereum, the chances are very minuscule. Then you definitely have something going on. And one of those let's say good examples of using it is, of course, Akshun, because what we provide with it is, first of all, transparency, and second of all, the rules which are clear, which make it very extensible, so we can use it for different sports, different seasons. It is extendable, but it's dynamic, and nobody can really change it apart from the things that are predetermined or the things that are set before the actual minting starts. So it's very safe and transparent to the users.
Which is important. Yeah, you don't want any scamming or duplicates or funny, moving stuff around in circles.
Exactly.
Tell me a little bit about Akshun. What is the platform and how does it work?
Well, the base of it is, like I said, we have the NFT part, which is basically we have a contract which governs the logic of how the NFTs are issued, how the rewards are claimed, etc., etc. And this is then directly connected to our dApp, which is a decentralized app. It's basically a mobile app where you can connect your wallet. You can buy, purchase, or mint the NFTs, and each NFT represents one of top 100 football players from the English Premiership League for now, but then we will move to other leagues and to other seasons. And each of these 100 players has 100 touches. So basically, when you touch a ball, it is the first touch, and then when the second touch is the second touch, and it goes all up, all the way up to 100, and then it starts over from the first one. And these touches are counted through the whole season. And if you hold an NFT of a player and his touch, which caused the ball to go to score a goal, or also for the player which made the assist, so basically pass the ball to the footballer which scored the goal, you get a prize. Okay, so and this prize can be claimed on chain, which means once it's determined, you can take it and nobody can actually deny you from doing so. And everything can be anonymous. We don't need to know not even your email, your name. We don't care, as long as we can prove that you purchased the NFT and the NFT won, which we know from our service provider Opta, which is basically used by most of large betting houses, etc., to get the data, sporting data in real time. And basically in real time when you watch the game, if your NFT is a winning one, you can then soon after claim the prize for the blockchain, which is connected to our simple to use application.
And then with those NFTs, let's say you hold a winning NFT, you've won your prize. Will there be utility in that NFT in the future?
Yeah, of course, we can really play around with that. For now, of course, we just want to push out this let's say, at least on service, very simple product, which is okay. You either your player and your touch either scores or gives assists and you get the reward. But later on, we're gonna have many features. One of them is also that we're gonna probably have a token generation event, which is basically we're gonna create our own cryptocurrency, and you're gonna also be able to earn stuff. You're gonna be able to decide on the future of Akshun through the decentralized autonomous organization, which we can form. So there's a lot of place we can go here, you know. Also the way how the gamification works with, you know, if you hold 5 NFTs of this footballer, you know, you can get maybe a duplicate in reward. There's many places we can go here, you know, many places we can go here. And we already have a bunch of ideas, but, you know, this is something for the future. Definitely. In
development. So I understand that the players and the Premier League don't benefit directly because you're using data points and not IP. Do you think they will get involved though? Do you think there could be some sort of, I know there's been some AMAs with some high profile ex-players. Is that something you think going down the road that they will become ambassadors or just?
Well, yeah, we definitely don't need IP rights because of the way how we structure this. So that's the very beneficial part, because otherwise we would have to get first a very huge investment to actually obtain the license, if we could even get it. But this way we don't have this cost, which means we can be much more leaner in our development, and that's why we also bootstrap this project. We bootstrap it basically just with our sweat, our money, and our time. We didn't use any investment yet, but we are basically launching. So that's a very, very positive thing also for potential investors that are coming, and we're already in talks with a few of them. So yeah.
Who would be your audience for Akshun?
Well, currently, at least at this first stage, we're more focused on the people that are maybe a bit more cryptocurrency savvy. But later on, and I mean very soon, we want to expand this to also people that are not tech savvy, you know, because already now you don't need to use blockchain. You need to know how the blockchain works, because our app is guiding you, you know, so that everything is abstracted away from the user. So he can do everything through the app. He still needs to know a bit, you know, what is a wallet, you know, what's Ethereum and stuff like that. But we plan also to use some services that would abstract away even that part, you know. So technically you could just come there, you know, just pay with your credit card and you would be in the game, you know, and you could claim the prize by not even knowing that you have a wallet behind, you know, underneath. So that's the plan for the near future, definitely.
I know, speaking with your co-founders, I think it was it Ben? I think it was Ben. He was saying this whole idea of the sports matter. People remember sports, don't they? I mean, like, you might not remember TV programs, but people in the pub over a pint might discuss a winning goal they saw back in, I don't know, 82 or something. I don't know. Or like Italia 90 for the Irish football fans. That's a very exciting time where we were there with Jack Charles. People remember the penalty shootouts and all the rest of it.
Oh yeah.
So there's quite a lot of emotion attached to this game, isn't there?
Yeah, I mean that's what we're basically also aiming for. You know, we're aiming for these passionate moments. We're aiming for people engaging, you know, in our Discord or Twitter or whatever. So we're definitely building this passionate environment where people can exchange, you know, exchange different moments that happened in the soccer, even different sports, and also how they managed to win different prizes, or how they managed to line up different players and they won, or they won some extra reward because of the system, the gamification system that we're going to improve, you know. So yeah, there's a lot that we see here for the future.
And you mentioned you're beginning with the Premier League, the Football League in the UK, but you're looking at all sports, am I right?
Yeah, I mean, originally, I think Richard wanted to start with actually the boxing, and then one of the major prizes would be the winner's gloves, So one of the people who would have the NFTs, he would win these gloves, the knocking punch, basically. And then it kind of transitions to first start with the Premier League soccer, because it's maybe a bit more widespread, let's say, but I don't know exact reason. But later on, definitely the technology is very sports agnostic, so we could do anything. We can do, of course, soccer, we can do boxing, we can do polo, which is big in India. And yeah, that's definitely the way to go for the future.
And finally, how have you personally found your experience as an entrepreneur in a crypto startup? Is it like a white knuckle ride, or it's like a roller coaster, or is it being plain smooth sailing?
Well, it's like ordinary startup times 10,
On steroids, perhaps.
Yeah, really, because everything moves 10 times faster and everything breaks 10 times faster, So there's much more risk, but there's also much more reward if you manage to avoid all the minefield, and all the mines on the floor. So it's definitely one of those things. So yeah, because I also know with my first startup, I think we were operational like for 2 years, and we actually delivered what we promised. But then because we couldn't get the licenses for what we were doing, we had to basically shut down everything, and hope for that some big fish will actually, that has already these licenses, could buy us and maybe continue, So yeah, it's really like that.
And finally, we're talking about the platform Akshun. Where can people find it, and how do you spell it?
Well, they can definitely go to our website, which is
AKSHUN.
Yeah,
Yes, sorry, I'm asking a non-native English speaker to spell it, and it's not easy. It's not easy, but it's Akshun.
No, because we already have misspelled action. So yeah, I need to think how the misspelled version is spelled. But yeah, actionnft.net. Yeah, and we have also our Twitter account. We have our Discord, and you can find all the links on our webpage. So I guess that would be the main place to
Brilliant.
go.
So the beautiful game, the league, begins on the 11th of August. So I wish you very great success in your opening season.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you, Matej. Thank you for your time.
Thank you too.